All right. There you go. That's a weird way to start the recording. All right. This is Menno. You're listening to the voice of Menno, and this is the Helpienaut Meeting recording number 5322 or something like that. I have no idea. Lost track a long time ago. Today is Monday, the 25th of 2019. Month 6, I'm sorry. Important detail. And we're just gonna chat it up to see what everybody is doing, what everybody has been doing this week. Talk about cryptos a little bit. Talk about the plans. I have something I shared today that I hope you guys start to use. That I think it's going to be very helpful for your blogs. And it was something that we intended to release later, I guess. But Odrao Robert, that's his name. He kind of last week told me that he was gonna step away from Steam, so I kind of took it upon myself, and I'm gonna send him some SDBs when this pays out. So I want to talk to you guys about that for a second regarding everything that's going on Steam right now that I think is relevant that you guys should know. There's a couple of new witnesses that have started up a little while ago. One of them, of course, is Wes from Deranged Visions, who you just heard the voice of. The comedy open mic has also started a witness. They're actually doing pretty good. And they are a community witness, which I believe are the best ones to be supporting, because at the end of the day, witnesses that help communities grow, that help with user retention, do a lot more for the valuation of Steam that witnesses that just do, like, I don't know. I hesitate to be too specific, but yeah, just witnesses that are just doing upvotes or participating or bitbots, and that's all I'm going to say about that, are not as helpful to the valuation of Steam as witnesses that are focused on user retention. And even though I don't have any hard numbers to share, I believe it is very hard to argue with that statement. So I would encourage all the Helpinauts that are here to revise your witness votes and really think about the implications of voting for the right witnesses, regardless of the whale status. Because I think some of the Noble Witness is one that I also want to bring out. That's actually Gmux with Sir Cork and Rondak that they got together, and I'm also voting for them. So I would hope that Helpinauts, because we understand the power community, we understand that is the way forward. If this blockchain is going to survive, it's going to be because of the people and not only the tech. That we're also aware that we can't play politics in the way that most people do. There's a lot of political aspects to Steam, and I don't think that's undeniable. But if we are not strong enough, to be the change, to be like, you know what, I know that's a big whale, and if I become friendly, if I am on their grace, I'm going to win upvotes, so I'm just going to vote for them. I think that's a very myopic way of thinking about electing our leaders, because even though a witness might be small now, like I know Noble Witness is not a huge account, I know that Comedy Open Mic is also not a giant whale, they can bring a lot more value to the community in the long run. And more importantly, if enough of us start supporting them, they can become big. So if we just think about it in the terms of today, saying, well, if I support a small witness, what does that do for me? Then we're not having the long-term vision of Steam that I think all of us should attempt to have. And I hope that statement doesn't sound too outrageous. I think that makes perfect sense. Like I said, I believe that the approach that many people have, which is, I'm going to vote for the big ones so that I can guarantee some sort of support back, it's pretty dumb, because it doesn't really work that way. If you are voting, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it in recording, I don't care at this point, but if you're voting for let's say, Jerry Banfield because you think he's going to vote you back or something of the sort, he doesn't care. He won't. So, so it's time that we put our votes where our mouth is, P-Funk just jumped off the top 20. If you guys are not supporting him currently, I would please encourage you to do so. For those that don't know, if you're listening to the recording, or if you are here and this is the first time you hear it, but I doubt it, I think most LPs know, P-Funk is the witness that has been supporting the open mic almost since it started more than a year ago, every single week doing donations towards the winners. And it is without a doubt one of the best communities on Steam, if not the best one. And I know I'm biased, but because yeah, go for it. Yeah, in that sense, I have, and I actually put this in a post. I didn't care if he got offended because I meant it really with good intention. He's terrible at selling himself. Terrible, and I guess I like for when people are humble. I like it, but at the same time, I also think that it can work against a person if it's too much. So like Osbet Bank, which is obviously a good friend and one of the best witnesses on the blockchain, in my opinion. He's also terrible at selling himself. But you know who's not terrible at selling him? Crystal. So it kind of compensates a little bit, and she makes sure that people know what Osbit is doing, all the stuff. I even promote Osbit. We do it through Helpie. There's things that are done, but Osbit himself, you'll never see him making a post, vote for me. You'll never see him doing that. P-Funk is just as bad, if not even worse, than Adam at promoting himself. But another thing that P-Funk does is he works a lot cleaning the platform. He works with Cheetah and NEX. Annex, I have no idea how you say it. Killing spammers and scammers and all that stuff. But he doesn't tell anybody. But if you find the scammers on the platform, the big ones, and you start digging into P-Funk's comments, you'll see that he's there flagging, banning users and all this stuff. But again, he doesn't advertise. So I believe that he deserves the top 20 position, hands down, more so than a few of the guys that are in top 20. And I'm not saying that every single person that's in the top 20 is better or worse than P-Funk. I'm just saying there's a couple there that, in my biased opinion, are, probably should not be above P-Funk. But that's my biased opinion. It doesn't matter, I guess, what I think if most people don't. But at this point in time, why is it important to get him back in the top 20? That is just because he's going to keep on supporting the community of Open Mic, which is also in the best interest of every single Steamian, because Open Mic is one of those communities that help a lot with user retention. I would say, and I might be wrong, but it has to be up in the 90% of musicians on this platform are here because of the Open Mic. Maybe they're not currently participating, but they stayed or they found Steam because of the Open Mic, and that's huge. That's huge. LL. Oh, did you, Betchy? That's awesome. Well, regarding the things I wanted to show to you guys today, I'm just going to share this really quick. I think Zippy just shared it and now it went away. There's a post I made. I uploaded today a tool that it will be awesome if you guys start using it from now on. Is this one today. I actually uploaded to the 360 Music website, which is a company I own that I'm closing down, believe it or not. But that's not a tragedy. It's just I'm moving on. I'm doing other stuff. But the website is paid for I think until May of next year. And this particular tool was made by Odrau. And what it basically does is if you guys click on the link I put there, let's do Pechi. You put in the username you want to do the last post off. I'll say I want to do the last 3 posts. I want it to be like here, like a little arrow on the last post. Then I can put the size of the font. Let's say I want to do tiny for some reason, centered, and I submit. It's going to spit out the HTML code I have to add on the bottom of my post, and it is really that simple. It takes 1 second to use, and that will be for Pechi. Like if he wanted to put that on the bottom of his post, and that way it can help people that find his post to find other things that he writes. Because one of the bad things about Steam, or Steemit, not really Steam, but Steemit. It's that when you go into somebody's blog, if that person does resteaming, and I'm one of them, I resteam almost every single day. Sometimes the users get a little confused and they're like, "Oh my God, this is all resteams," and they have a hard time finding the original material that the blogger has been putting. And sometimes some blogs can be connected. Like you can be writing part one, like Zippy likes to do that. She likes to do part one, part two, and all this stuff. But she'll do part one, and then 3 or 4 days later there'll be part two, and in between that there's like 10 resteams. This will give her the ability to keep them connected easily, even though she could do it manually. But this makes it an easy job. And I think if most of us get in the habit of using this, it's going to in the long term pay off, because it's going to allow us to build better audiences. So what I would say for you guys to do, I don't know how long I'm going to have this hosted there. I don't remember exactly when this expires, but eventually we are going to have a Helpie website up and running with the idea of the communities that I've been talking about for a little while. And this is going to be one of the tools available on that website. I might even ask Odrao if he's around. I don't know if he's on Discord lately. If I send him a message, if he will reply. If he would be interested in submitting it to the through Utopian, so it can be added to maybe the Steemit front end or Busy, because it's such a useful tool. I don't know if he will be interested, but I want to respect his wishes on it, because he's the one that coded it. But it doesn't mean that we can't come up with something of the sort for the Helpie website. And I also wanted to ask you guys, see what you guys think. I've been thinking about, I got some code, and I used to code. So for me, when I read it, it doesn't make me go like, oh my God, this is, alien to me. It's not alien. It's just I don't know the commands anymore. But when I read it, it makes sense. I've been thinking about creating a special page on the Helpie website, on the temporary Helpie website, so that you guys can use it to donate a little bit of Steam power to Helpie. And the idea of it would be that when you guys do, and this is the little idea that I'm coming up with, we would probably have extra votes for you guys somehow, some way, or maybe share some sort of like Steam and basic income, come up with a way to compensate you for doing that. But it's because I'm trying to think of ways that we can build the native Steam power of Helpie a little faster, so that we can grow a little more. And this is because, especially now that the Steam has gone down in price, Helpie votes have gotten kind of weak. I'm sure you guys have noticed that when Helpie upvotes you right now, it's just giving you, very little back compared to 3 weeks ago. But there's not a whole lot I can do, because I getting more Steam power delegated to Helpie it's kind of difficult. But what I was thinking about doing myself is donating some of that, my own Steam power, to Helpie, but my actual posts, just to help it have some native Steam, and that way it kind of feels painless. So what I'm talking about is beneficiaries. I don't know if you guys know exactly how that works. You guys are still listening, right? Because sometimes when I talk for too long, I'm like, I wonder if I've lost my connection. So there you go. Good. That was good, Wes. You made me laugh. So the way that I'm talking about would be, I can set up a page on the Helpienaut temporary website that would allow you to use an editor, very much so like the one that you currently have on Steemit. You would put your username, your password, all that stuff. No, actually, you wouldn't have to put your password or anything of this sort. You would just put your username and your posting key. So it's only a key that posts on Steam. You don't have to do anything that moves any money, and post through that website. And when you do, it would create a post that would use Helpie as one of the tags, if not the first tag, and would donate, let's say, 5% of whatever that post makes to the Helpie account of Steam power, not SBDs, just 5% of the Steam power. And by being of that Helpie tag, then whoever wants to help that particular Helpie for donating could search for the Helpie tags and give extra updates, just for being community oriented. So it's kind of like I'm trying to look for the win-win. So let's think of it as an example. Let's just say that um, Samist decides, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. So he goes there, he makes a post. It's a normal post, whatever he was gonna make before. He grabs the code, puts it on there, hits post, puts the posting key, which I told you guys it cannot move any money or anything like that. So there's no security issues. All it can do is it can upvote and it can post, nothing else. You put the posting key in the little field. It doesn't save it. You hit post. It creates up the post with the first tag being Helpie. And then I can set up my Gina bot, and anyone who wants to participate on doing this can set up the Gina bot to the to search for the Helpie tag, and then when you see one of the Helpienauts doing a donation post, using this particular way, then we can upvote it a little extra. So like I have, of course, I have 1,000 steam power on Helpie, but I'm probably gonna not delegate more for a little while, but I am probably gonna focus on voting more on the people that do the little donations thing, so that the Helpie account can grow. Helpie current. What's that? Yeah, exactly. So choosing Helpie as a beneficiary. I don't even know what I was saying. Beneficiary. Yeah, beneficiary. Yeah, I like that word. I like it. So, yeah. So basically, you would set up the website would be set so that you can set how much what the percentage is that you want to put Helpie as a beneficiary. You can do whatever you want. I just say 5% because I think that's a reasonable number. But if somebody wants to do 1%, I'm not going to complain. Or if somebody wants to do more, of course I'm not going to complain. As you guys know, everything that Helpie is making in Steam, currently is making in Steam Power, is staying there. Nobody's touching it. The idea is if that account ever becomes a whale on its own, that just means that the community is going to be that much stronger. And my commitment is to keep on powering it up all the way through. I'm not going to power it down to pay my own bills. And as some sort of assurance of that is that I'm not the only one with the keys. Ella Farms, which is obviously like part of the core team of administration of Helpie, also has the keys, and Pechi also has the keys. So there's checks and balances there, and none of us intend to power it down to pay for anything. The idea is that account can be a blessing to everybody that participates in the community, and that's what it's intended to do, and that's what's going to keep on happening with Helpie. But if we can help it grow a little faster, the better. And the truth is, this is compounding, right? So like if we manage to push Helpie to 15,000 steam power within a few months, the next 5,000 steam power is going to be, that much easier. And I'm saying not natively, right? Because I think, what is Helpie sitting on natively right now? I think 400 steam, something of the sort. It's not too much. I'm just going to check real quick. So if you're listening to a recording, obviously you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just checking on the native power Helpie. Helpie has 408 steam power, native steam power. It's not great. It's not great, but it doesn't matter. It's still a small account, and that all of that has been made through curation. So Helpie doesn't post, and it posts every day, but it doesn't have high-paying posts. It never goes over three lately, and that's just because the people that vote for it were all tiny accounts, and we don't have a giant vote. But a few of us make a little more than 5 SBDs when we make a post. And if we start to compound that, us donating 5% or whatever to Helpie, plus those people that want to, because obviously it's voluntary, helping those who are helping Helpie, now that's a mouthful, we can increase that number, maybe double it within a month. I believe that's possible. I believe that's doable. And that's just going to make it easier for Helpie to reward you guys back, because those votes obviously go right back out. So, again, maybe it's an unreasonable target, but I would like to double the native steam power in a month, and hopefully the month after that, if we keep at it, and if you guys are, like the idea, I can show you. I'm probably gonna make the mock website of what I'm talking about tonight. I got some code, and I've been reading some commands, and it's funny that I'm doing development again, because I thought I would never do this again. I'm getting too old for this shit, like they say, but screw it, I'm gonna do it. and I'll show you guys how it works. And if you want somebody to check the code because you don't trust me, not that I think any of you guys would do that, but if anybody wants to check it, it's going to be open source and everybody can see exactly what it does. And I'm probably going to propose something of the sort also for the open mic, so people can make posts for the open mic using a particular page and do donations to the open mic and stuff like that. So I already got most of the code, and I'm probably going to finish it tonight. But I'm bringing it up so you guys can give me some critiques. So if you tell me no, that's not a good idea, man, I think people are going to hate it, or if you guys think it's a good idea, or what do you guys think? Help the helpers who are helping Helpie. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Help the helpers who are helping Helpie is the way that it works. Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, if once I make the code for it, allow, if you want to, like I think me and you are good enough friends that you would know that I wouldn't do anything weird. But at the same time, I don't want anybody to be thinking that we're doing anything weird. So the code's going to be available open source. So anybody can look at it. And so if a developer is going to criticize me or Helpie saying, oh, these guys are doing something shady, I want to be like, okay, show me. Here's the code. And it's going to be, I know. Show me what is shady about this. It's just a way to automate beneficiaries so we can help Helpie help helpers, which is the ninja plan here. So, all right. So if you guys don't have any critiques for me, I guess I'm gonna give it a go and see what happens. I was hoping that Ami Taylor was gonna be here today, because she has the Helpienaut website, and I was gonna ask her if I could do it on there, because I think that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna last a lot longer than my particular one. But I can have it temporary hosted there. I think I have like a crazy amount of traffic of it allowed on 360musicgroup.net. So screw it. No, we'll do it there, and we'll see. If I get a notification saying that it was way too much, I doubt it, because we're all text. But I'll figure it out. But I doubt that's gonna happen. Yeah, and that's kind of it for the updates, guys. I did want to hear what you guys I've been doing, how you guys are feeling lately, because I realized that a lot of people are depressed over the price of Steam, and it's not that I can fix it, but we can have a conversation about it, and I can at least I can share some anecdotes to help people understand this in a broad sense, because it's one of those things where most people that are depressed about the price of Steam are depressed, or the price of crypto really in general, because of the time where they got in. Well, basically, if you would have gotten into crypto 2 years ago, right now to use $6,000 Bitcoin would sound still great, But because you just got in a couple months ago, and you saw it be at 8, be at 9, be at 10, or whatever it is that you caught it at, and now you see it down to $6,000, then it feels like the world is coming to an end. But it's just when you got in. Hey, Edith, how are you doing? Yeah. No, that's exactly how it works. The way that the SDBs get generated and Steam Power and SDBs get generated is through the voting weight of a particular account, and the liquidity of Steam, of course, has to do with the exchanges and how many people buy it and sell it. But the debt token of Steam which is SBD against Steam, has to do with how much Steam is worth. So, how it's not the case anymore, but how back in the day when the dollar was backed by gold, the dollar would be the debt against gold. And there was a time, this is before I was born, I think, where you could go and exchange dollars for gold at any point in time. That was a guarantee, and that's what gave the dollar the value, that you could exchange it for gold. Now it's fiat. Now it doesn't have that. It's just the government can just print it whatever they want. Well, the way that SBDs work, which is the liquidity of Steam, how people get their payouts and how your vote is calculated, is a debt. It's debt against Steam. So you're guaranteed $1 worth of Steam for one SBD. That's basically the guarantee of the code. As the Steam price goes down, then there you could say that there is less gold in the vault to guarantee the price. Therefore, the votes go down. If that makes any sense at all. Yeah. I hear you. I kind of feel the same way. My vote, I used to have at full power. Well, I'm delegating quite a bit, but I used to have like almost 60 cents, 70 cents at some point in time. Right now, my full 100 is like 13. You know, so I hear you. It feels really bad. Yeah, Curie went from 80, 90 to 30. Yeah, but at the same time, guys, here's the other part of some people have a hard time getting understanding it, but it makes sense if you try to simplify it, which is even though the price of Steam is down, even though the price of SBD is down, also the cost of acquiring it is down. So therefore, you can acquire more tokens, more Steam tokens, with a smaller payout. So, like, if I have a 15, 16 SBD payout right now, I can collect 8 Steam power, 9 Steam power, something crazy like that, which was pretty crazy. Because before, in order for me to collect 8 Steam power, 9 Steam power, this is when Steam was $4, I would have to be in the 30s or 40s. And so the right strategy right now is, first of all, I mean, I'm not making any choices for somebody. Like, if you need to sell, you need to sell. If you need to buy some food with the Steam you make, I mean, who am I to tell you what to do and what not to do? But the truth of the matter is that this is a good time to be collecting Steam power, to be powering up. It's the perfect time because you're going to collect a lot of Steam power for the particular payout. You're also going to collect SBDs, of course, that you can convert to Steam because they're so close right now. It's like dollar. I think Kitty Girl just shared it. It's like $1.07 for SBD and $1.30 for Steam. So the price is not that off. We don't have that, crazy difference in valuation as we're supposed to have. Well, the idea is that SBDs stay at 1, right, and Steam goes to whatever 10, 15. Ideally, I would like to see it at 10 before the year closes. But let's just say that it goes to 8 again, which was the all-time high that we had back in January. Well, that means that if you are converting your SBDs to Steam right now, which is almost a 1-to-1, almost, and then it jumps, and then Steam jumps to $8. You just multiplied your money by 8, which is pretty crazy. But if you stay on SBDs and Steam turns around, you're not going to get any of that valuation. So of course, this is my opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, but if common sense tells me that the right move currently, because the prices are so low, is to be converting to Steam, and because you want the Steam power to work for you, you want it to help you create more. Again, this is a compounding thing. If I have more Steam power, I can upvote a little more, I can interact a little more. I'm going to be able to build the wallet more, and then once it turns around, it's going to be great. So my plan is before the month ends, I'm going to be a dolphin. That's my plan. I'm going to convert everything I get to Steam power and power up. That's going to be my thing. And I'm like 150 away from being a dolphin. and I'm gonna keep on going. And I of course this is gonna be my choice. I'm doing things so that I don't have to power down. So I don't have to take my SBDs out. But no, don't worry. I'm gonna keep on posting. I'm gonna keep on posting every single day. My plan is to be posting 3 times to 4 times a day. That's the plan. And if the prices are down, that means that I need to take advantage of that and collect as much steam power as I can. That's awesome, Zippy. That's awesome. Well, if you guys want to get involved with Steam Monsters, I would definitely encourage it because there's a lot of little jobs to happen, and Agro is a very he's a very giving dude. So if you guys get involved with that, I'm sure he'll take care of you. And there's I'm probably gonna say something I shouldn't say, but you guys get a little bit of whatever. You guys get some inside information. A few days ago, LO Farms, Petchy, me, and a few other MSP users, we got given the keys, the posting keys for MSP Active. So that means that if you are participating of the MSP shows, like if you're there, if you're chatting, if you're doing stuff, and you're making posts, we have been given the green light to give you upvotes. With it's an account that has over 10,000 Steam power, and so yeah, curation. So we're gonna be doing some extra curation. Yeah, I kind of cheated because I don't know if you guys were supposed to know that, but that's the advantage you get for showing up to our little meeting. So you guys get to know that. So make some posts. Yeah. No, I think the bot has been officially disabled. I I th- I think so, and I think that's because some people were abusing it. You know, they got put on the bot and they were just shit posting like crazy. So what they've done, but you know what? Yeah, that's really how it works. I'm sorry to say that. I don't want to be negative Nancy, but people suck sometimes. They're like, oh look, I can abuse it, and then they do. So they've disabled it. So what's gonna happen now is that the Make a Minnow winners are gonna have the keys to this account. So if you guys will make some good posts, and honestly, LO Farms, she's a great curator. So um, again, here's another thing that another advantage of being a helping, because we have great curators here, and then we also have people that do curation for Curie and OCD and all this stuff. So that's another advantage. If you're listening on the Steam blockchain, or if you're listening on YouTube, that's another reason why you want to be a Helpienaut. I don't know. I just shilled us right there, but it's true. It's true. So if you guys are not participating of MSP, though, if you're not participating of the shows, if you're not being active over there, then by all means do so, because one thing that we were told is they want us to only upvote people who are participating of MSP. And that makes perfect sense. You know, it's fair. Agrod wants to make sure that he's taking care of the people that take care of the community that he runs. And I wouldn't expect him to do anything else. That's exactly what I would be doing if I was in his position. So if you guys are not participating of MSP, it's time to change your ways and start showing up to some shows over there, so that we have an alibi and a reason that why we are curating your posts with that particular account. Oh my god, the kitty girl is awesome. Everything I say, she just like drops links and all this stuff. It's almost like it's almost like I have an assistant for the conversation. That's awesome. That's awesome. Kitty girl, I did have a question for you since you're here. You can type if you don't want to talk. It's up to you. But I, yeah, you're a tech support. Um, I am going to need somebody, and I think you might be the right person for this to eventually to take care of the Helpy blog that's going to be running on the Helpienaut website. So there's a Helpienaut website, helpienaut.com right now, and it's going to be connected to to SteamPress. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of this. You might know this already because you're that's like the kind of person that you are. But there's going to be, the idea would be that that particular website would be showing the posts that are related to curations, maybe not so much the trivia, but the ones that are related to curations from Helpy. And then I would need somebody to kind of, take care of that. And of course, we would be compensating you with some big upvotes from Helpy if that's like a little job that you want to take over. And I immediately thought of you because of the type of person that you are. You're like techie, you know where things are, you know how to get it, you know how to figure it out. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let me know. Send me a DM and we can see if we can make it happen, because I really need, if I try to do everything myself, I'll drive myself crazy. So and of course I said we're probably gonna give you some upvotes from Helpy every time you post some big ones for doing that job, because it would be amazing. And then the other advantage of us doing that is the putting that on WordPress, which is where it is. Putting those curation posts on WordPress is going to bring attention to the authors, a better ranking of attention to the authors on Google, because WordPress gets higher rankings that Steemit. So that's just going to feed into the efficiency of the machine, which is the best authors getting recognition not only from the Helpy curation, but also from when people search for stuff on Google, showing up on WordPress through the Helpienaut website. So it's a great little mission to have. Oh, maybe so, Kitty, but I doubt that you wouldn't figure it out in a couple of days. Because it takes your type of mind, the one that figures out where things are, how to put a report, how to think. And I doubt that if you start to mess with it, you wouldn't, in like 2 or 3 days, you wouldn't already be like, all right, I know how this works. I doubt it. Yeah, it would take her like 2 days, tops. All right. Well, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to share. I did want to have a conversation with you guys. Like, I wanted to hear what you guys are up to, like how you guys are feeling, because like I realized that a lot of people are really depressed about this whole thing, and I just want to have a conversation regarding that. Like, if somebody's concerned, if somebody's feeling like this is the end, I want to hear it. I really want to hear what your thoughts are, what your doubts, and all this stuff. Well, you're not obligated, Kitty. I just put it out there. I kind of put you in the spot. I'm sorry, but just because it requires somebody of your profile, really. You got no doubts, Carrie? That's awesome. You know what I was thinking about, and I guess with this can be like the end of the conversation. Then we can do some post shilling if you guys want to. I don't know if we're gonna do some post shilling. Did you guys prepare some shills so we can do some shilling today? Awesome. Yeah, well, Kitty, by all means, if you can think of somebody that can be, it's got to be somebody like you though, somebody that is attention oriented, and it's gonna be available. Because what I don't want to happen is somebody that I send a message and I have to wait 2 days for them to get me back. I want somebody trustworthy that is efficient and detail oriented to make it happen. If we start doing the Helping Out website and it's bugging out, it's borking out, it's gonna look really bad on us. So that's why. Relocating. Well, a few of you relocating. Oh, yeah. Well, Nathan and Amy. Well, that's awesome. I hope that the new places where you're moving to are better. But well, if you guys want to show, put some emojis so I can see who is gonna show, and then we're gonna do some shilling. But you know what okay, so it's gonna be LL Farms. You know what I was thinking about it especially because of my trip. I just went to Brazil. Some of you guys know I went to Brazil, and I was having conversations with a friend of mine who just happens he's well off. He's a dude that's done really good for himself, and I was having some interesting conversations with him, and I kept on being reminded how everything has to do with perspective, right? Like where you are in life, and how that doesn't allow you to have an objective um, outlook at what's really going on. And I say this because I'm having a conversation with a guy who has made millions of dollars in his life, who has, a beautiful penthouse and all this stuff, and he's well. Like, if I see him from where I am in my life today, and I see, well, hey, this guy's doing great. But then if you have a conversation with him, he'll tell you how much he's in the struggle and all this thing and all this money and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, man, it's almost as if he doesn't realize who he's talking to. And it's not that I am some sort of like guy that's struggling to buy a cheeseburger. Of course, that's not the case. But it's almost as if he's completely disconnected from the fact that he's talking to somebody who doesn't have his level of you know what I mean, like of power of consumption, power, like acquiring power. Like, so he would say things to me, and I'm not criticizing, because I'm not in the sense that I'm saying he's a bad person, but it's just he says things to me sometimes. He's saying to me, hey man, why don't you buy a brand new Mac and stop using a PC? And I'm like, what do you mean buy a brand new Mac? It's like $3,000. Yeah, it's just $3,000. Buy a Mac and forget about the viruses and all that stuff. It's like, well, I guess to you $3,000 is maybe what $10 are to me, which is yeah, I can spend $10, but it's a thing about perspective, right? So he's telling me some things like, oh, this and that, and then this person did that, and then I lost like all this money, and right now everything's tight, and then I'm thinking, man, I just brought, because I took merchandise to him. I just brought this unit. It's a processor for guitar that costs $3,500, and I took two of them with me, right? So just in those two, there's $7,000 worth of guitar gear, and he's telling me, yeah, man, things right now are really tight. Like, I gotta watch what I'm spending because of this and that, and his ex-wife now, and things are rough. And I'm thinking to myself, of course, I didn't say it out loud, but I'm like, dude, like, I just on two pieces of gear, I brought you $7,000. What are you talking about being tight? This could feed a family for 3 months in the United States, and decent, like a decent neighborhood. I'm not talking about the ghetto. And here you are spending on some guitar gear, and that's okay. It's your money. You worked for it. But what are you talking about? And I'm only bringing this up because I guess all of us have that same problem, but we do it at our level, if that makes any sense. So, like, we forget sometimes that there are people that are struggling so much more than we are, and because of that, we lose perspective, and we think somehow, some way, that life is being unfair to us because of our current situation, and we don't realize of all the things that we have, and we forget to be grateful. Because it's easy for me to say to that guy, dude, listen, be grateful. Look at this. Look. I know some maybe 10 guitar players that would cut off one testicle to have one of these, and I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. And you have two, and one of them is to use, and the other one is just in case your first one breaks. So, and then I'm sitting there. You keep them, Petchy? Good choice. So, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, do I do this? Do I complain also and not realize what I have? Am I guilty of this at a different level? And maybe I am, because maybe I'll go maybe on Steam or somewhere else, and I'll say like, oh man, things are so rough, and everything is horrible, and it's all that. But I'm doing it sitting in front of a computer, in a home with the air conditioner. I haven't lost my car. I mean, yeah, there's things that I don't have. I wish I had a brand new iPhone. I wish I had a brand new computer. Yeah, but am I doing the same thing that this guy is doing, just at my level? And who am I complaining to? Do I go... there's a lot of users on Steam, and I guess this is why I wanted to talk about this, because there's a lot of users on Steam that are in really dire situations. Like, we're talking about people that $15 in a month could make a huge difference in their life. And of course, and not just Venezuela, because that's the default we think to, but there's a lot of people in Nigeria that have been able to help their income because of Steam. And I'm just kidding, Anka, not the iPhone. It's just an example. But Anka hates Apple products. So there's a lot of people, like in Nigeria too, that are really dependent on Steam to be able to pay for food, right? And Steam has been a huge blessing in their life, and I think that's awesome. And right now, those people are a few of them are scared, and they're trying to, you know, they're trying to face the music, as they say. They're trying to, okay, we're gonna get through this. And I feel that because I am aware of this, and because that mirror was put in front of me just a few days ago, that it would be very dumb for me to think it with a mindset of scarcity when, in a sense of perspective, I'm doing 100 times better than a lot of people. And I realize that doesn't make everybody feel great. Some people say, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still struggling. My phone is a piece of shit. I realize there'll be a few people that say that. And to those, what I'm talking about will just be some weird mumbling. But if the message resonates with you, I hope that it does, this is not the time to be complaining. This is the time to feel grateful about the things that we still have, the family, the if you're a parent, the kids that you have, and if you have this group and these friends, yeah, because that's very valuable, and build from there. And I can say this because I understand. I guess you could say I understand the philosophy, if that makes any sense, of cryptocurrencies. I have complete confidence that this whole thing is going to turn around, and I'm not going to complain. All I'm going to do is work extra hard, and I hope you guys feel motivated in the same way. I think I interrupted somebody. Bring me gear. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys do some shilling today. I am going to, as the part of the recorded meeting, I'm going to officially call it done. Just because we're getting to the hour, and I like to keep the recordings about an hour short. But if you guys are going to do some shilling, we can do that right away. I hope that today, if there's anything that you walked away from this conversation is feeling motivated, knowing that if we collect some Steam power right now, we power up 4 or 5 months down the road, I don't know when, you're going to be in a way better position than you are today. And I realize that it's rough right now. I realize that looking at your wallet go from, and again, perspective, right? Because some people saw it be at $3,000 and today it's at $800, and they're like, oh my god. But you got to think about that dude that had 50 Steam power, and he thought he could eat for 2 or 3 months with it if he powered down, thinking like, well, I can barely eat a week. How he must be feeling. So yeah, perspective. But think of it like, okay, this is an opportunity. I'm going to collect as much Steam power as I can for the next few weeks. When this turns around, I'm going to be in a way better place than I am today. And that's it. That's really all that we can do. Our crypto is going to turn around 100%. If you ask me what I think is happening right now, I think it's manipulation. That's exactly what I think. I was, yeah. There's actually a lot of giant orders. I'm talking about giant orders sitting on the side, and we're talking about. I'll just share this, and then I'll finish the recording with this because I think this is very important to know. There's a particular buy order from one of the big barons of the United States. I don't remember who it is, but there's videos about this. There's information, you can find it. I don't know if it's the Koch brothers, but one of those. It's something stupid, like 250,000 Bitcoin, right? There's an order somewhere out there like that they're looking to buy, and there's not enough sellers. So what does that mean? It means that most of the people that are holding on to the Bitcoin are not willing to sell that much to them, and for the price they want to pay. So if you ask me what I think is happening right now, I think they're in cahoots. Some of these giant old money are in cahoots with some whales, and they're doing what's called wash trading. And wash trading, to explain it to some people, the way that it works is that you are the buyer and the seller, like you are, you buy, you sell at a cheaper price, and you buy it, and you put these giant walls on the orders to scare people. So they'll see in the order book somebody selling, oh my god, this dude is selling 25,000 Bitcoins, and so when they see that, they're like, shit, I'm not buying. If I buy right now, when it's gonna break my ankles, so they don't buy. and they keep on doing that. They have a sell wall, a giant sell wall, and then they keep on buying and selling to themselves at lower. They keep it low. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was very insensitive. But my point is that yeah, I apologize. But my point is that. So I think there's a lot of manipulation right now, and that's the reason why it's not going up, and not any other reason. So what I think is going to happen, and of course this is complete speculation, is once they've lost enough money doing wash trading and manipulating the market, because they have to lose money a little bit in comparison, they have to lose money. They're just going to say screw it, and they're going to jump in and hit the books hard. And when that happens, Bitcoin's going to start making a run. And when that happens, the altcoins follow. So Steam is an altcoin, and it follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin starts climbing, Steam starts climbing. That's the way it works. So when is that going to happen? I have no idea, but I have no doubt that it is going to happen. And if you guys look at the history of Bitcoin, which is in the context of the conversation, is really what we should be looking at. It has always pumped, and it has always crashed. And every single time it's crashed, there's been people that say, okay, that's it, it's over. And then it pumps way higher than before. So today I was watching a video from one of the YouTubers that I really appreciate. His name is Michael Box Mining. And he was saying that he got out on the last huge dump. So he bought Bitcoin at like $800, a few years ago, and when it pumped to $1,000, he thought, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm rich. I'm gonna be making so much money. And then it dumped all the way to 300, and he had a ton of Bitcoin back then, and he sold it at a loss. So he lost more than half of his investment, and he said, that's it, I'm done with cryptos. And if the dude would have kept it, he would be home free right now. Because could you imagine buying Bitcoin at $100? I would sell my house if someone would tell me, oh, I'll sell you Bitcoins at $800, as many as you want. I'll sell this house. Like, I'll be like, okay, Anka, we're gonna live in the car for a few days and we'll figure it out. And so, but the dude lost faith because he was just thinking of it as speculation and not really as a technology, as something that is changing the way that the world is going to work. Because it's really what it's doing. It's changing, it's shifting the paradigm. So he got out, and I'm sure he kicks himself in the ass every single day. So I don't want to be that dude. I don't want to be the dude that said, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm done with cryptos. Because the truth of the matter is that good ideas can be killed. Let's not even use the word good. Viral ideas can be killed. That is the reason why they're viral. So the same way that some terrible religions can be killed, it's because they're viral. The same way that some terrible flat earth ideas cannot be killed is because they're viral. But the great thing about crypto is that it's not only a viral idea, it is also a positive idea. It's a move in the right direction. So it cannot be killed. In order for crypto to be killed, they would have to destroy the internet. And what are the chances of that? Now that we're talking about making the internet a human right, and I'm not joking about that. That's the conversation today. Internet is a human right. How is that idea that now is beginning to grow roots, right? How is that going to connect to the desire of destroying crypto? It'll be like, oh, let's ban, I don't know, code, zeros and ones, certain zeros and ones. They can't do it. So, yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. Anyways, I am going to look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's crazy, Sippy. That's well, if you're Sippy sharing that her big brother sold 100K worth of Bitcoin in January, and for a down payment on a house, and he was bummed of how low the value was, but now that the deal fell through, he's stoked. Yeah, and the other thing that's important to note about Steam is like Steam is one of it's also the most used crypto in the world. It's not Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is the one that everybody knows. But if you even right now when our prices are low, we're still hitting 1.4, 1.5 million transactions per day. Now, if you compare that to Visa or Mastercard, it's nothing. They do that I think per hour. But if you compare that to the other cryptos, you have to add all the other cryptos together to get to Steam, and I think you still run short. So Steam is one of the few ones that really has a true use. People use it. They just don't hodl it. They use it. They buy Steam monsters. They pay with SBDs. They pay for services. Uniwisp charges for the work that she does on SBDs. People are using it. It's not just hodl like all these other coins. And the truth of the matter is that if a coin is just hodled, if it's not used, it really has no value. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but there's a big difference between you having something that is 100% speculative, meaning it's just the idea that one day it will be used, that has no value, and one thing that you hold that is like, yeah, this is currently being used, which is the case of Steam. So all the shilling and all the jokes that we make aside, the truth is that 99% of the altcoins out there are going to disappear. I don't know when, but they're going to crash and burn. The ones that are used are the ones that are going to stay. And maybe that number is 30 or 40 coins when it's all said and done. If we look at other situations, comparable situations, we can probably look at how the .com happened. And when the .com happened, it's a good thing to look at it because it really, in many ways, it kind of resembles the way cryptos are happening. When the .com happened, there was exuberance. Like all these people was like, oh man, you can't go wrong. People would create a website. All of a sudden, somebody would say, oh, I'm starting a website. I'm going to sell keychains, and they put an IPO. They didn't have inventory, and the website would be worth $1.2 million in the stock market. And it made absolutely no sense because there was no business yet. But it was just this idea that oh, that's awesome, Kitty. I'm going to read it right now. But there was this idea that one day people are going to buy all these keychains. And, of course, that day never came. So when that crashed, like all these people lost millions of dollars. Now, valuation-wise, the market was in the trillions, the market of the .coms before the bubble bursted. Now, something similar is going to happen to cryptos. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but there'll be a time where we're going to be high, like super high. I don't know what the price of Bitcoin is going to be. It could be $100,000. I don't know. Mark my words. Try to remember this conversation one day. You can say like, "Oh, man, it's crazy," but after all, he was right. And then it's going to explode. And then all these crazy altcoin speculations that were doing absolutely nothing are going to go to zero. And then Bitcoin's going to lose half of it. And then it's going to slowly recover back to where it was over the years. Because the companies that survived that particular crash on the .com era are 10 times bigger than they were before they crashed today. That's Amazon, eBay, PayPal. Now, but all the other ones are gone. So something exactly like it is going to happen here. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're not going to shill, then we can just call it done. I am going to finish the recording. You've been listening to the voice of Menno.
Wait, stop. We are going to shill. We're going to shill one thing.
Yeah, we're going to shill one thing.
Okay, so I'm shilling a post that doesn't exist yet. So, as per tradition of me doing weird shit, so tomorrow, Yidnis has a D-Live, and I'm going to shill it since it's going to be happening tomorrow, so in the future. And I have the time that I posted here for Menno, so let me just drop that in the chat.
You see that?
So you better be there, guys. I want to see you all support Yidnis Live, and that's my shill. So, and then also, of course, she has a new post with Serena's cover, which is like hot from the oven. It's only, it's been like an hour since she posted it, so it's awesome. Go support it. But I want to see you guys join the live tomorrow. Be there. there.
There you go. See, I almost got in trouble, guys. I was almost too fast. All right, so, but this is going to be it then for a little Helping Out meeting. It's been an hour of awesome conversation. I hope you guys are leaving this conversation today feeling motivated, knowing that everything's going to be fine, that it's not the time to slow down, it's the time to speed up. If we focus on the right things, if we focus on the community, we can be immune to the psychological effects of a down market, and we're going to be just fine. You've been listening to the voice of Meno. The other voices were Zipporah, and you just heard Anya, which is Anka Polo on Steemit. And who else talked? Oh, yeah. Wes, Deranged Visions. That's the other. That's the other one you just heard. Well, thank you guys for being here. It was an awesome conversation. And yeah, that's it. This is Meno signing out.